I started coaching. I had 2 sons, and when I took my first son to coaching, coaching in England in those days was fairly basic. A lot of smash the ball up to the big kid up front, and all the kids who were much taller, who were born early in the year, they turned out to be the ones who often got picked for the team. So I looked into this, and I also I looked into the way training was done in the continent. So Dutch vision was something that I read all about, how the Dutch play and how they would do small games, 4v4 games, 6v2 overloads, and this was totally alien to how it was done in this country, where we would have players taking corners and dads crossing a ball in and they'd be shooting into the net. We're setting up here to do, we've got 8 players today, so I'm going to do a 4v4, a 4v3 plus 1 magic man. So the magic player becomes the most important because we're trying to play triangles continually off him. So when you watch the session, the 3 players who have to try and win it, it's obviously harder for them. But once they get the magic man on their team, then it's 4v4. And gone, he's got it. Go. So those little games I took in with both my sons and developed the teams, and we were very successful. We had successful teams, and as I was developing that, of course, we were getting an influx of players from South America, from Europe, from particularly Spain, who play these kind of games themselves. So it began to become part of the game. So we had rondos and games like that, boxes that we've done today. And that's really how I got into it, because it was a need, basically. The 4 players are on the outside, please. Oscar, you stay in the middle. One of the skills that we're looking for here is we're constantly looking for players doing triangles. For youth teams, triangles are really important. They're playing, if they're playing 7v7, 9v9, if they're playing a 3-2-1 in formation, what they're trying to create constantly is they're playing into the middle guy and then playing out again. There's your big triangles, and that way we build up through the thirds into attack. The triangles are the most important bit, and when you watch the pressing players, they're creating space around the area, and what I want to see is my players using the space, passing into the space, and that way they will, when it goes into a bigger game on a pitch, the space becomes most important to attack and create goals. Well, the biggest problem with grassroots coaching is you tend to find that you have loads of kids here, and the best coaches often get plucked out and they go into the academies. So the minute you start your career, you're working in grassroots, which is great, but then it gets to a level where you think, okay, I'm going to start earning some money from it, and you go into the academies. So somewhere like Leatherhead's fantastic because they've pumped such a lot of money into the game, and all the youngsters that come through from the surrounding areas. We have, the Chelsea Academy is not far from here, and so we get a lot of very good players. The importance of the coaching is that the coach can bring all these players through. We play little games, playing matches, and once they've come through, then they get picked up by bigger clubs. But Leatherhead's a pretty big club in itself now.
Well, I would like to try and get into a good team like Manchester United and play for them. That'd be a dream.
I'll probably play in the Premier League.
Coming to a match, we have girls football and we have boys football here, and when they come to games, they're being brought by their parents, so they're interacting within the club and they're interacting outside the club, and they want to play football with their friends. Everyone talks about there's no street football anymore, so what we try and develop here is bring back the street football, let them play the game, give them the ability that helps them develop themselves. So it's basically about developing them to be the best they can be. And on the social side, I mean, you've seen players here today, the minute they turn up, what they want to do is, they haven't seen each other for a week, so they're talking, they're having ideas, they're discussing things, and they're all from different walks of life, which really helps.
They always motivate me, and it is fun, very fun too. You learn a lot of different skills with your feet, and then that can go into other sports too.
Because the only way you can score a goal is by including your whole team.
I was told by, I can't remember, some guru or other, that before the age of 7, children should be in a team game, because team game really develops their communication skills, their interaction. It gives them confidence when they're out. I'm the attacker and these are the 4 defenders. Onside or offside?
Offside!
Yeah, one of my favourite coaching moments happened. We were playing a match, and in the previous weeks we've been trying to do a step over. Well, I've been teaching them, boys, a bit of an individual skill. So within the context of the game, you have an individual skill. And one of my players, who was a right winger at the time we were playing, we were under 10s, I think. He took the ball and he had one player to beat, and he did a step over and he was through on goal. But rather than go through on goal and score, he turned around and shouted, "Dave, I managed to do it! I managed to do it!" And all his friends in the team were shouting, "Go and score!" By the time he turned around, of course, they'd all got back. And